So welcome back to Southington's Intermediate Saturday Sampler for August of 2022. Kits for August will be available this Friday, August 12th at 10 o'clock. So bring your completed July block in between August 12th and August 31st to receive your August kit free. So we have a couple classes that are going on this month, and one of them is this beautiful summertime table runner with the flip-flops. It is a 2-day class. The classes will be on Mondays, August 22nd and 29th, and they are 2 hours each from 10 to 12, and again from 6 to 8. So a nice applique table runner. You can do beach umbrellas, you could do fish, or you can do these lovely flip-flops. All right, so come on in, sign up for that. That's coming up very soon, Monday, August 22nd. The block this month is also applique, and we're going to be cutting all our pieces out today, fusing them, and of course doing the blanket stitch around. So I'll do little bits and pieces of this, but our 12.5-inch block is right here. Okay. Of course, our kit is going to get a large piece of white. You're going to cut that 13 inches square and just leave alone the rest of the pieces in your kit. What you do want to do to the fabrics is put some best press starch into your fabrics to get them nice and crisp and easy to cut and fuse, so it'll make your block go together a little bit easier. Okay. So we begin by plotting out our steam seam. A few of the items we're going to need is a 1/2 yard of steam seam. So here we have a 1/2 yard. I've pressed this because it was folded up or curled up, so I pressed it flat. You'll notice one side does have these yellow squares. You're going to want to draw on this side. You'll also need a 1/3 of a yard of tearaway stabilizer or tearaway interfacing. I'm going to recommend 505 for holding your tearaway to the back of the block. I'm going to recommend maybe some Sharpies to draw out our spaces where our template pieces are going to go. Pencils to trace our patterns. Really good applique scissors that are going to cut through the paper and the fusible. They have a serrated edge. They're nice holes for the fingers. It cuts very nicely. 5-inch scissors. I'm also going to recommend Mettler Threads for the applique. You can either do the poly sheen, which has a very nice high gloss to it, or the Mettler, which is a little bit flatter, a little matted in color. And last but not least, your 12.5-inch creative grid ruler. This is going to help you align it vertically, horizontally, and diagonally. Last but not least is the open toe presser foot. So the open toe Bernina foot is the number 20. All makes and models you can get an open toe for. This is going to allow us to applique our shapes and follow the lines and let us see where we're going a lot easier than a regular presser foot. Okay, so no 1/4-inch foot this month, just our open toe foot. All right, let's get tracing. I'm going to bring this over. So here is my seam, and what I've done in the directions is I've given you a picture of this, and as you can see, all these little yellow lines are 1 inch apart. So you're going to use this grid to measure over like a 2.5 by 8.5 inch section, and we're going to trace all our pink pieces, which we need 4, and you'll also get a copy of this, of course. These are our shapes. You're going to copy 4 of those into the pink section. The turquoise section is going to be the outer pieces of the flower and the center piece, 4 of those, 1 of those, and continue with the green pieces. And I've set them all, I've put them all in the directions, how to lay them out in each section. These actual pieces are the sizes of your kit fabric. So your multi-floral, which is not marked here, sorry, your multi-floral is going to fit right in there. So any piece that you trace in this section will fit fused onto the back of this fabric. So this helps only because we have the kit shapes and the sizes that you're given with the fabrics. We want to make sure that the fusible pieces are going to fit on your back of your fabrics, okay? So to trace, we just grid out our area, and then you can either put this on a window or you can just hold it down. It looks like you can see right through it. This would be the center one. We're going to grab a pencil, and nice sharp pencil, and we're just going to go ahead and trace each and every piece. So after this octagon, then we're going to move on and we're going to trace the turquoise little outer bud pieces. So again, just nice straight lines, and you're just going to continue this to follow the directions that are in your pattern. Okay, so we're going to get 4 of those and continue tracing. Once all your pieces have been traced, what you want to do is take your applique scissors and you want to rough cut around this shape. Not into the lines, but just around this pink shape. Each section is going to be rough cut like this. So the green section, you can get about 1/8 of an inch close to the lines. You want to, this is my pink, so I'm going to grab my pink. You want to make sure that your fabric has been starched and pressed and the wrong side up. And when you're peeling, this has 2 pieces of paper on it, the top side, which has all our writing, and the back side, which is just a plain piece of paper. But you'll notice as I peel this that the fusible is actually stuck to the correct side, which is the side with the lines on it. See? You see the fusible right here? So we want to keep that stuck to the front, and we're just going to remove this back piece of paper. We're going to place our fusible, fused side to wrong side, and give it a nice press just by holding it down for maybe a count of 3 or 4. Lift it up, see if it's fused. Hold it again, nice hot iron. And we've gone ahead and fused this. So we're going to fuse to each of our pieces, and just like we did with the pink bud. Once we get everything fused, now we're going to go back and we're going to cut on the lines, every single template piece. These scissors are amazing, very nice serrated edge. They have a great feel to them. They're very accurate, very sharp, great for cutting through this paper. All right, so I'm going to cut out these 4, all my shapes that I need, and put them aside. Okay, you got that? Next step is to take our 13-inch background piece, and what we're going to do is we're going to press it in half. Let me grab these. I'll need this in a second. We're going to go ahead and press it in half to get a crease or a line of reference. And we're going to just fold this into quarters. The quarter pieces are the ones that are going to be our hearts. And then we need to press this on the diagonal. And these diagonal creases will position our flowers and stems. So once I've done that, so you're going to diagonal twice on each side, once on each side. And you're going to get a great little point down here, which is our center point, where all our crease lines come together. It's very hard to see, but I have crease in all those positions. Make sure your background is right side up and that you can see all these little reference creases in your fabric. Very hard to see. Okay, perfect. All right, so the first thing, this one's not, let's say we have, let's start with our center. We're going to start with our center turquoise, and we're going to lay our turquoise right in the center so that each center is on a flat side. So this one comes to the flat side, and we're just going to center him. Pretty much so each of these creases come to the center of the octagon. And again, it sticks and holds, yet it's repositionable. Okay, so don't worry, we're not fusing anything yet. The next thing you want to do is to take all your pieces. Oh, I didn't show you how to peel this off. That would have helped. So each of your cutout pieces still have that paper on them. So you want to peel off that back paper. And now we have the fusible on every single piece, and that's what I have here. So this one has the stick on it, every single piece does. So what I did is I took a measure, and it's about 3/4 of an inch from the outside edge of my octagon to the beginning of my stem. And we're going to do that over and over and over. The next piece that I've put on is my bud, and you can see as this crease goes out the end, we're going to take the very sharpest point and barely overlap the green stem, and we're going to place that right like that so that the point is right in my crease, so it's lined up diagonally. This one is also going to be overlapping the pink and the green, and we're just going to place it just like that. And it doesn't have to be perfect. This is yours. You can get as whimsical as you want. And we're just going to have some fun with that. So about 3/4 of an inch. The next one we're going to do is the heart. So after I get all my stems on, I'll take my heart. And again, about 3/4 of an inch up from the top of my heart to the edge of my octagon. And again, the point is right on my crease, and the inside is right at the inside crease of my heart, just like that. Okay, if you want to move it out a little bit, again, it's totally yours. Just keep them lined up on the creases. Okay. And then the last thing is to put the leaves, and we're just going to center this. There's no real spot for it, but we're just going to center that and center our leaves up in these areas. So if you want to look at this one we're going to press. All right. So let me get these back on here. Close enough. Should probably go up just a hair. All right, and again, my line's going right out the corner. Once we are completely happy with the way this looks, what I like to do is grab my 12.5 inch ruler. On the Creative Grid ruler, don't forget, it has these markings that are centered. They are the white lines that are the center of your ruler going through the north, south, east, west. So these will be going through the hearts, through the points of the hearts, and then we have this diagonal line, and these will be the tips of the buds. So we know that the bud points are on the diagonal. So let's see how close this is. This part could drive you crazy. And don't forget, it's repositionable, and move them as many times as you want. So for instance, I have the bud coming through this side, I have it coming through this corner, I have my white line here going through my hearts. Here's the white line again going through the hearts. The white line, this one's a little bit off. I might want to move my heart over just a tad so that it lines up with the white line, and then the one I just whimsically put on is way off. So I'm going to be moving this one over a tad, so hold on. Let's push this one here and put this one over a tad. So once you're happy with the way it looks and you have all your leaves where you want them to be, we're going to give it a final press. All right, so I'm happy with this. And then we don't want to slide our iron because these pieces can move. So we just want to hold them, count of maybe 5, depending on your iron. Lift up, move them over. All right, just get these pieces fused, but make sure you like where they go first. Because now it's fused, it's permanent. Well, not really permanent, but permanent enough. Okay, make sure you get the whole piece, all the pieces, and you're happy. Okay, so this is not acceptable. There's still a couple steps left to do. We take our tearaway stabilizer, and we're going to put a little bit of 505 on it, just to hold it to the back of my block. Lay this down, and I'm going to place my applique shape right on this. Okay, and what that does is as I'm doing these blanket stitches, it's going to help stabilize and keep from pulling all my pieces together. Once we have this, let me see if I can just rip this up. Okay, so once we have this, we're ready for blanket stitches. This is when you're going to go over to your machine, you're going to grab the colors that you like, and we're going to put on our open toe foot. And we're going to pick a blanket stitch. A lot of you have done this in the past. This probably is not difficult. Okay. But we'll just all right. So what I like to do is go on my Bernina 475, I like to go down to the quilt button, which is down here. So we're going to push this one, and then the applique stitch is number 1309 on this machine. And you'll notice that the straight line is on the right and the fingers go off to the left. So as I'm sewing these, the straight line, because I have the blue on, my straight line is going right down the edge and the fingers are going into the blue. So I'll just do a couple stitches on the octagon. And again, I like to lock my stitch in place. Oh, it's not on this screen. Take a couple stitches, and it's going to land there right on the edge of my fabric. You don't want it too far in the white. You're going to see it. You want it right between the blue, and if not, air on the side of the blue. So over, and it goes forward, goes left, right, and forward, left, right, forward, and constantly keeping that right side along the edge of your piece. So it's getting close to this one. We'll go one more. Perfect. And now we're going to turn it because we want our fingers always to go toward the center of our piece. So we're going to take a couple stitches, and we're just going to keep going around and do all the pieces. So, yeah, it takes a little bit of time. So hang in there. And I keep changing my thread. I did all the turquoise, then maybe the green and the pink, and next. The last step is to give your piece, rip off your stabilizer after you're done all your applique, turn it over and gently rip away as much as the paper stabilizer as you can. Give it one good final press, Put it back under your 12.5-inch square, squaring it up, and then trimming that last 1/4 inch. Remember, it started at 13 and it's going to finish at 12. But the applique stitches may actually make it a little bit smaller from where you began. Okay, so use this, square it up to 12.5, and bring it in September to get September's kit free. All right, we have some specials going on. We have the Finish the Bolts at 50% off on selected fabrics. They'll be on our cutting table. Also, visit our discount fabric wall for deep discounts on select bolts, panels, and Quilter Select rulers. So come on in, get the deals, and visit us at the show this weekend at the Mancuso Quilt Show. Thank you for watching.